Welcome to Between Both Cheeks, the podcast where we talk business, beauty, and butts. We'll be stripping down the aesthetics industry, whether you're here for spicy beauty tips, savvy business advice, or just a little banter. We've got you covered from front to back. So pull up a cheek and get ready to discover what happens between both cheeks.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Between Both Cheeks. I have a very special guest with me today. Welcome, Katie. And Katie is our 2025 Strength and Courage model this year for Bryght. How exciting, girl. Welcome.
I'm over the moon. I'm so happy to be here and so excited to chat.
I know, I can't wait because we haven't chatted since we shot your entire campaign in Vegas.
Yeah. It's been nonstop. You know, you're so busy, and then I've been like catching up with work and running around and making plans and getting everything together for, you know, my adventures to come. So I'm really excited.
I love this. So those of you listening, Bryght is more than anal bleach. We're head to toe and down below. I'm a triple negative breast cancer survivor. And when I was diagnosed, I noticed that there was no clean, vegan, and safe ingredients on the market to use on myself. So I created them myself. With that, they didn't have any really great stock photos for people going through treatment or cancer survivors or thrivers. So I had this idea of, hey, why don't I use like real life people and pay them and give them an opportunity to, you know, feel amazing for a day and empowered for the day and really start to normalize the word cancer, because it really is kind of a dirty word. I always say that self-care is more than just bubble baths and face masks. It is about, you know, getting your annual mammograms and making sure that you're in tune with your body. So that is Strength and Courage, another kind of division of Bryght. And if you are interested in being a model, you can nominate yourself or you can nominate someone else. So that's kind of the gist of what we're talking about here today. And Katie was selected to be our 2025 model. We've now done this. This is oh my God, wait. We had Tomai, we had Miranda, we had Shivali and Michelle. This is our 4th year.
Oh my gosh, look at you go.
This is insane. Amazing. This is wild. So I want to talk about what was it like when you got the phone call, because you have to go through like a kind of rigorous. Thank you. Interview process. So what was it like when you, right? Yeah. How many interviews did you have?
So I had 2, and at first I met with Michelle, who was one of last year's models, and, you know, it's really hard for me to keep everything really compressed. So it was challenging, but very exciting to do. Michelle and I were like, okay, we gotta go. And I'm like, okay, I hope I got everything in that I needed. And I didn't hear anything, and I'm really bad at emails and keeping up with technology. So all this time goes by, and I'm like, oh, okay, they picked like someone else. It's cool. You know, it wasn't my time, and it's somebody who really deserves it. Got it. And then Michelle texted me, and she's like, I hope you don't mind that I'm texting. And I'm like, no, like, please, like, I'm here, whatever you want. She's like, Luba really wants to meet with you. And I was like dying inside. So I called my mom, and I'm like, okay, so I think this might happen. And then when I interviewed with you, originally we had an hour time slot. So I'm like, okay, I have time. I have time to, you know, really get down to the nitty gritty. And then I got an email that it got cut to 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, so Miss Talkative, get your stuff together. Like, we have to, you know, really zone in. And ADHD is not my friend sometimes. But again, you know, a week went by. I also had some issues with my phone. So I was like, okay, like, you know, whoever got it, I'm so happy for them. And I'm at work, and then that's when you messaged me, do you have time for a FaceTime? And I was like, well, yeah, of course. And like, I had my phone glued to me, and it never rang. And I was like, oh, okay, well, wasn't me. And then I got your call the next day, and I was like in disbelief, because I'm like, no, this is like a rejection call. Like, this is like, thank you for your time. You were awesome, da, da, da. So I was like super stoked and super excited.
I love
And that
that.
was kind of like how the interview process went. I wasn't nervous at all. Everybody is so sweet and so genuine and so nice. I feel like in our community, whether it's breast cancer or any kind of
Mm,
cancer, we just have a different kind of demeanor and we see life a little bit differently and a little bit
so
brighter, if you
true.
will.
Yes, I love that. I love that hook that you put in. And I love that Michelle was part of the process. So that's the first time that I've actually used a model to help me as part of the process of selecting, kind of like the few that move on to the next round, if you will. And then I do the second interview and then we pick from there. So I love that Michelle was able to be a part of that. She's amazing and still like very involved in the company, which I love. So then you got the call saying, "Hey, we're going to shoot in Vegas." And
Yes.
where did you have to fly from?
So I went over to New Jersey. I'm from Pennsylvania, and it was a 2 hour drive. And I was super excited because my mom wanted to join the party, and I made sure that that was okay. And mom came around for the ride, and she was always so supportive when I got into modeling in the first place. So it was very special, and I really appreciate everything again. And it was just so fun. So I travel quite often, but I haven't made it to Nevada yet. I was in Arizona. We were like right there. My husband's like, should we like cross the border and go to Vegas for the day? And I'm like, we don't have that much time. So I was like, we'll make it another time. I'm very big into manifestation and traveling and everything. So when I actually interviewed before I had my first interview, I made a really cute, like Vegas themed background for my phone. And in the corner, there was the little bright bubble. And I was like, this is going to be my future. I'm going to go. So when I got the call, it was like surreal, but so exciting because I just feel like the connection is so great. And I'm a triple negative survivor, you're a triple negative survivor. So I feel like it's just what was meant to be. Like the cards lined up exactly the way they were supposed to be.
Exactly, exactly. So you arrive, and then what does our first night look like together?
Oh my gosh, so fun. The cutest little like the restaurant was so nice. I forget what it was called, but it was like
Nora's. Yeah, we went to
Nora.
Nora's. Nora's,
And it
yeah.
was like authentic, beautiful, and like I'm getting ready and I had this like teal dress and I just felt like it illuminated the company. I was like, this is like everything. And I was like super excited. I wasn't nervous at all. And then when we got together and we had, our first toast to our first bite of salad and everything, like it was just like nonstop conversation and it was just amazing.
And then the waiter, totally by surprise, brought out a dessert
Yes.
and they had written "fuck cancer" on it. Congrats and fuck cancer, which was so amazing because I didn't tell them what we told them at the beginning, like they said, "Are you celebrating anything?" And we talked about it, but that was
Yeah.
really on the restaurant. So that was very, very cool.
That
That
was
was not planned
amazing.
by me. That was not planned by
Yeah.
me.
That was like really special. And I just felt like in the moment, everything was exactly how it needed to be.
Hmm.
And then when the fuck cancer came out, like I was like, okay, don't cry. We're in public. Don't cry.
Yes, yes,
So,
yeah. As I was like crying at the table nonstop.
yeah. And I feel like so I'm very fresh out of my journey. I'm only a year and a half out. So I feel like I've cried so many tears in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's hard to rein in your emotion. And I think that that's something that isn't talked about a lot as far as like getting through treatment and everything. Like you lose parts of you and bits of you and you're like, I should be crying right now. And you're like, my body is in fight or flight mode.
Legit.
So
Yeah. No,
totally
absolutely.
normal. And my heart was just radiating though. Like it was such a special night.
So that was our first night, and then I dropped Katie and her mom off at the hotel. And you guys went, did a little bit of gambling, and what
Yeah.
happened there?
And then I went in, I only bring what I could afford to lose when it comes to gambling because it's very important to gamble responsibly.
Yeah.
I had 120 left in my purse and I hit a $2,000 jackpot. So you never
You
know
guys,
what's gonna
like,
happen in Vegas.
how wild. I was like, this is the universe saying you are exactly where you are meant to be.
Supposed to be.
It was
Absolutely.
so good. It was so amazing.
I felt like
Um,
I was in a dream. I was like, this
yeah.
isn't happening. I'm not in Vegas. I'm not here for like a modeling job and I'm not winning money. Like, what?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I thought it was also very cool the next day when we got to the studio for the shoot. Do you want to talk about that and what that like? So we brought Kaylee in from, she's one of our Bright babes. We brought her in from LA to kind of do behind the scenes and stuff. We use Chris, who's our photographer. He's also the photographer with the Chippendales. So we knew we were going to get iconic stuff. But do you want to kind of talk about what that experience looked like and how you felt?
So when I first arrived and I had my little box of goodies, that was so special and it just kind of set the mood and the tone.
What was in it?
Um,
What was in it?
so this was one. We have Save
Yeah.
Motorboating, Find a
It's one of our
Cure.
tank tops. Those of you guys that are listening and you're not watching the video, it says save motorboating, let's find a cure. And
So
fuck cancer on the back.
fuck cancer on the back. And then there was a cute little pink tank top that said fuck cancer. I have an iconic like crew neck sweatshirt that says I'm the Bright 2025 model. Again, fuck cancer on the back. So I am living for all of the positivity towards getting through it. And as far as, Ana Uno and her bras are so comfortable, like that was like one of the first things, like I felt it and I was like, this is amazing. Like
Yeah.
I got kind of emotional because I thought about, my friends who've had like failed reconstruction and like, they have like the pockets and the areas so that you can put prosthesis and I think it's a
Yeah.
very special and her fashion show, iconic.
Yeah. So huge shout out to Dana from Ana Ono. She always donates all of the lingerie for the photo shoot. And I always refer to Dana as like the Victoria's Secret of the breast cancer community, right? That's like the best way for me to describe it. Make sure you guys check out their website. We'll link it in the podcast as well. And then she just has like really great clothes and bras for just women that have not been through breast cancer, but she does focus on like reconstruction, or if you're a flatty, or if you've just got the one boob, the uniboob, she's got something for everyone. So I love that she donates to us.
I was like, that was so nice. And
Hmm.
I've been watching about the fashion show, so I felt like that was so great to see, like, that I'm going to be a part of their
Yeah,
brand. And, like,
exactly.
it was great. And then I had my Strength and Courage in the kit, which obsessed. It is, I've already recommended it to a few of my friends who are going through chemo now, and they say it is a lifesaver. So
Yeah,
I wanted to update you on that because I was able
love
to
that.
share. And my
Love
cousin has
that.
eczema, and it helped her a lot because
Yes,
I'm like,
it's so good.
so good. And then I have my little anal bleach bracelet that I wear
Love
to work
that.
every day, brightenups.com. And on the
Love.
inside, it says, because I am strong and courageous. So
Yeah.
a little friendly reminder from my friends over at Bright.
Love that. So you got your goodie bag, and then we headed
Yeah.
over to the studio. And what was it like being or in front of the camera? I know you're already a published model, but what was it like kind of being on this side? Because a lot of people don't know this, and I don't talk about this, but like ages ago, I used to model overseas, and it's very different to go through cancer and then to be in front of the camera again. For me, I don't know what it was like for you, but talk about that experience.
I can totally agree. So, like before cancer, I feel like I had a lot more confidence, obviously, a lot more hair. Um, and I have scars and I have imperfections and reconstruction makes your body different than what you're used to. My
Yeah.
entire life I was a double D and I was like, I want cute little itty bitties. Like I don't want to have back pain anymore.
Mhm.
So adjusting to my new body and feeling beautiful in what I have.
Yeah.
And it was really like a beautiful moment as far as my cancer journey. I kind of felt like I regained what cancer tried to take from me. And
I
I say
love that.
tried because fuck it, they can't.
Hmm.
So it's something that I think everybody should go out and do, whether they apply to be next year's model or even go get a boudoir shoot. Go out there and get your sexy back because we deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah. So overall, the experience during the photo shoot, how did you feel? Did you feel comfortable? Were there
Amazing.
any weird parts? Like what was the feeling during the shoot? Because we shot for a few hours.
Yeah. I think the only weird part is my awkwardness. And I love that the behind the scenes shows how quirky and strange I am because that's one of my favorite qualities about myself. And Chris was an angel. Kaylee, of course, was getting it with the music, and watching your face light up when you saw the photos was so encouraging. And I was like, okay, this is going to go great. I'm having a good time. And I just kind of, thanked God for all the years of America's Next Top Model that I watched, and, all the posing and strange things that I'm like, I want to do this. I want to try this. And, I'm very happy that you guys allowed me to be authentically me.
And
And
that's what
I
we
think,
want, and that's what we want to show, right? Like
yeah,
if I just wanted something basic, I would be using stock photos. But no, like this is real life. Everyone is different. Everyone's journey is different, and it needs to be showcased. And the entire goal behind this is to like you said, give people their sexy back and really empower and normalize what cancer looks like, because it does change your body completely.
mhm, yeah,
Right? Whether you have reconstruction or you have a lumpectomy or whatever that looks like, your body still changes from the steroids, from the radiation, from the stress, from the medication. It changes.
right. And I thought that it was very wonderful to kind of see how, we handled our situation so different, our
Yeah,
cancer
we
diagnosis.
did. We did talk about that.
And I think that it's totally great to know that no matter which way you do it, what avenue you take, there is no right or wrong way.
Hmm.
And
So
I think that that's
can
really
you talk
important.
about your story when you were diagnosed and what you did?
So I'm a hairstylist. I see a lot of people every single day. I was 29 when I found it, ignored until I was 30. So for 6 months, I thought I was fine. So I never actually worried about it. The little voice in the back of my head kind of told me to be worried, but I just kept shutting it up until my doctor's appointment. Because I see so many people every single day, I didn't want to keep saying. I remember my first client was one of my 75-year-old grandma, cute little clients, and she sat down in my chair and she said, "How are you today, sweetie?" And I just broke down in my salon, and I'm like, "I have cancer." And that was the first time I said it out loud. And I think that when I felt that stab of saying it, I was like, okay, I can't say this 900 times. It won't work. So therefore I made a giant post on Facebook. I felt very confident in my team. I felt very confident in my journey. I had a plan. I knew exactly what I wanted from the second I found out. My biopsy was my brother's birthday, and my diagnosis date was my dad's birthday. So they're days that will never be 100% the same, and that's okay. It doesn't alter them completely, it just kind of puts a little spin in the story. So then I made a giant post and I said, I'm not afraid, I'm not scared, and I'm going to kick its ass. So we're going to get through this. And I remember 450 people liked it. And I'm like, I didn't even know I had that many friends on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So then from there, I kind of documented my journey, and I wanted to bring awareness to young people because, especially triple negative, when I was going down the rabbit hole of triple negative, it's all doom and gloom, bad recurrences, like all the bad stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I'd find someone who was doing really well, and then you click on their profile and there's no updates, or it's rest in peace, or and it it killed me because I just found out that it was because my cancer mutated. And to see there was nothing good online for it. It was very rare to come across. And I said, I'm going to post this, and I'm going to give people any ounce of courage and strength that I can because I wanted to make it normal. Exactly what you said. It's not a dirty word. The people that would come into the salon and be people and say, "Oh, you have breast cancer because you have tattoos." Like,
Oh my
it's not how
God.
it's not how it works, babe. So, yeah, so you have to put up with the crazy inappropriate comments and the positivity along the way. But that was how I handled it.
And I didn't tell anyone. My diagnosis was in the pandemic, and I used that opportunity to keep it quiet. There was just a handful of people that were super close to me that I told. But besides that, I kept it quiet. I used the excuse of having to shave my head or cut off my hair as kind of a Britney Spears. She's going crazy because her businesses are shut down. So I was like, oh, this is iconic. This is great. Like no one will ever know. And I did an entire post lying about, I've always wanted to have a pixie cut and, now's the time to try it. Why not while everything's on lockdown? And out of all of the friends that I have, there was one person who messaged me immediately and he said, what the fuck is wrong? Because you would never chop off your hair. You need to call me. Everyone else was like, oh my God, it looks so great. It was a wig, babe, which I'm actually giving away. I bought so many wigs in all different stages of growth because I lied about my diagnosis, or not, I didn't lie about it. I didn't share with the world what I was going through.
You just hid it.
Yeah, I hid it. And I would wear these wigs in different stages of growth as my hair was supposed to be growing in, but they were all different wigs. So I have so many of them. And I decided this year, like, what am I going to do with all this? Like, they're literally sitting in a closet doing nothing. And the same reason why I do the cancer model search is because cancer treatment in the US is very expensive. So if I can give back a little bit and make someone feel better for a day and walk out with iconic, an iconic feeling and an iconic story and be able to share that story, why not? So I'm doing the same thing with my wigs as I'm giving one away this October, like the very first one that I wore. I'm going to give that away. So yeah.
I also have 25 wigs because I was insane and that was my hyperfixation and it made me feel good.
Like a hairdresser, like it fits.
I just think that it's really great that, now you share and now you want to educate. And I think it's really great because you don't have to do it a certain way.
Yeah, and I think that's important to talk about because my partner that I was with at the time was really pushing for me to share with people or certain people, or he just kept saying, like, I don't understand why you don't want to share this. Like, what's the big deal? Like, I think you should just talk. And I remember like breaking down at the dinner table, and I finally said the words, and I was like, because I think I'm gonna die, so I don't want to share that I'm sick. Like, I just want to be able to go out on my own. And no one really understands that. It's your story. It's your story. And the way that you choose to share it or not share it is completely up to you. And don't ever let anyone tell you the way that it should be done. When I got finally my results back of when they said, you're cancer free, I did do a story after that. I did post that, hey, I was diagnosed. I lied about this whole pixie cut thing. And it's amazing with, some of the people that come back, some of the friends, if you will, that come back and said, I'm so upset that you didn't tell me that you were sick. I was like, wow, like, did you just make my cancer diagnosis about you? So like, I took it as this huge opportunity to really look at my life from an outsider looking in, because I felt, first of all, like there was an alien inside of my body. I didn't feel right to begin with. But what an opportunity to like step back and really look at life and why certain people are in your life and what do they actually bring to the table and how much you're giving and how much they're taking. Like, it was a massive wake up call for me. So any way that you want to choose your story or to tell your story is truly the way that it should be done. There is no right or wrong. Katie and I did it completely opposite. And I love that for both of us.
Yeah. And I feel like you were so like trying to hide everything and compress everything. So when you finally said those words, I feel like I'm going to die, I resonate with that because I was trying so hard to keep it together because I had to. Like, I was a dancer my whole life. So it's like, you're on stage, smile on,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
And then I'd be laying in bed and I'd roll over and I'd just start bawling my eyes out. And my husband would like, you're okay, you're okay. And it's like, they don't get it.
No.
Especially when it comes to triple negative. I mean, all cancers are awful. Please don't get me wrong. But like the first 5 years of our diagnosis is very important. I bought a shirt when I found out I needed chemo. Before I found out I needed chemo rather, and it says I won with the breast cancer ribbon. I refused to wear it until 5 years
Wow.
because for me, I don't feel there yet,
Hmm.
and I'm staring at it. It's in my closet. I see it. It's like right there. But that's gonna be my power shirt when I make it there.
It is the PTSD is real in a big way. I mean, I will literally be at a restaurant and I'll start doing this. Those of you that are not watching the YouTube video, I'll just feel around my boob, like where the cancer was. And I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing. And people are like, "Oh my, like, are you okay? Does it hurt?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm feeling for a lump. Like
Right.
it's constant." Going in for your checkups, it's a nightmare. It is so beyond stressful. Cancer doesn't end when cancer ends, in the sense of like when you get that clear bill of health. It continues to haunt you for the rest of your life. And I think, Katie, like, you're such a great example of, it doesn't matter what age you are. You were diagnosed at 29. I was diagnosed, I had just turned 40, and they were telling me that I was too young for cancer.
Right.
You were 29. It doesn't matter. And we need to start normalizing these conversations with our doctors, because people don't want to talk about cancer. It's not it's not fun, it's not sexy. So when they say like, "Oh no, you don't need a mammogram, you're too young," or like in your case, you went in being like, something is wrong, and
I
your body knew
still
something was wrong.
have like swelling from where my lymph node was swollen, and that gives me PTSD. Looking in the mirror and seeing swelling gives
Yeah.
me PTSD. But it's absolutely awful how hard we have to push for treatment
Hmm.
and for people to take us seriously because we are young.
Hmm.
And I think family history starts somewhere. I had none, so I was the first one. Another
Yeah.
reason they didn't take me serious.
Me either.
And I hope that eventually they come out with a much better way for women to get them. Because if it was for men, it would be a pillow and it would be so nice and
Well, I mean,
but
it's a fact that they spend more money on erectile dysfunction than they do on breast cancer research. So
absolutely.
that tells you everything right there.
And they haven't really focused on women in healthcare until what, the 80s?
Hmm. Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
long.
Yeah. In my company with Bryght, any employees that work for me, it is mandatory that they take one day, any day in the month of October, and they are forced to go get a mammogram, and that is a day with pay. So, we have had some issues where the girls have come back saying, "Hey, like, they refuse to take me because I'm too young." And I say, "You go back and you say, this is part of my job.
Mhm.
Like, I have to get this done. It is part of my job." And I remember one of the girls said, like, her doctor looked at her and he was like, "Okay, let's book." Like, he had no words. And he's like, "Oh, okay, like, let's book it in."
And
So
that's
I mean,
amazing.
if I can help in that sense to make sure that everyone is well and taken care of, and taking that time, because I'm just done with the conversations of like, I'm just so busy, I don't have time to go to the doctor.
Right.
Like, we need to start taking care of ourselves, and we need to start early, because cancer can happen to anyone.
To anyone. And I think that you hit the nail on the head exactly. I have had so many people come into the salon after I came out about everything, and they're like, I booked my mammogram because of you. I've been putting it off for a year.
Yes.
Like, I called the doctor. Like, I had so many messages and calls. And if we can even inspire people to feel it on the first, and
Yes.
keep up with the routines, like in the shower. Like I found mine like just looking in the mirror. I just like felt
Mm-hmm.
some swelling, and I was like feeling around, and I felt it in my heart sink because I knew.
Yeah.
But then to be told that you're fine, it's like medical gaslighting,
100%.
and it's dangerous. And I think about, what if I listened, and what if I was like, okay, I don't have
Yes.
to go back for a follow-up. It would
Yeah.
have been tragic.
Yeah.
And I think that it's amazing that you encourage your employees to do that,
Thank
because
you.
it's very important,
Yeah, I
and
think so.
it's something that's gonna start a revolution. It should. Everybody
Yeah.
out there, make your employees do it in October. Do it.
100%. 100%. What would you say to someone that wants to apply for the model search? What sort of advice would you give them?
Be yourself and shine bright, and you can do it. Don't be afraid, because if you look at the campaigns in the past, all different kinds of people were picked. I was like, I'm alternative, I'm 4'11", I'm like literally the smallest human being on the planet. And I had really bad time with my scars, and I had medical damage and necrosis, and I had the worst healing, but I was uncomfortable with my body. And I'm like, what if they don't like scars? What if they're not looking for someone like me? But you never know who you're looking for until you meet the person that you're looking for.
And then what did I say when I talked about shooting all your scars?
You were like, would you be topless? And I'm like, hell yeah. I was so excited. And I actually felt like that was a very empowering moment for me, because even being intimate with my husband after everything, I would always wear a shirt. I didn't feel beautiful. I
Mm,
didn't feel sexy. First of all, I was bald. I
mhm.
had giant scars all over my body, and I looked like an alien in the mirror. And somehow he still saw my inner beauty, and I am very grateful that I have a good partner that was there through it all. But I just remember one day he's like, honey, you don't have to wear a shirt, and I just bawled my eyes out, because I
Mm.
was like, nobody wants to look at me. And then to expose, like, this is who I am now, this is my body, and it's totally okay.
Yeah.
You don't, like, I don't feel like a monster. Like,
Yeah.
seeing your skin die in front of your eyes was tragic and traumatic. And even still, seeing my scars, sometimes I get very bad stress about it. But now I feel like I can empower someone else to feel good about their scars, because they are battle wounds. We are badass
Yes.
bitches,
Yeah.
and we deserve them.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I'm going to get like flowers, and I'm going to intensify them, and like really tell my story through my chest.
I
Because
love that.
for me, I don't want nipples, and that's just my choice. And I think that that's something that's not normalized either. I feel like
No,
everybody's like, okay, when do you want your tattoos? It's like,
exactly. And that's why I was like, are you open to being topless? Like, I want to normalize this. And this is beautiful. This is life. This is beautiful. This is cancer. This is reality. And we have to stop like hiding it.
right.
Right.
And I will say, this was my first shoot that I didn't have fake hair in a spray tan, and, really
Yes.
like dramatic. Like, I was a glam queen. Like, I loved makeup before cancer. I
Mm-hmm.
still have a good beat, but I've definitely toned it down and learned to appreciate when you're rebuilding from ground zero. You're like, wow, I do have really pretty features, and I don't have to hide behind 20 pounds of like full coverage foundation. And
Isn't that the
it's
truth? Like I never wanted to tell anyone that I was a true redhead. Like I dyed the hell out of my hair to be blonde. Like anything that came through like red, golden, I was like, oh my God, bleach this immediately. Like how ashy can I get? And my hairdresser looked at me as my hair was growing back, and she was like, it's like thinned out and so fine and everything from the treatment now. You cannot dye your hair anymore.
Mhm.
So we're just going to embrace it. We're going to add a bit of a booster to it. And I've never felt better. I feel like I've never looked better. And the compliments that I get are insane about my hair.
That was like one of the first things I noticed when I saw you in the booth. I was like, I love her hair. Like,
Oh, thank
obsessed.
you. Thank
Red hair
you.
runs in my family, so I was a little bit jealous. but it's gorgeous.
Yeah, so I've completely embraced it. And I just, I really want to thank you, Katie, too, because when I was sitting at that dinner and I was, having such a great conversation with you and your mom, like, oh, I always cry. It was just, sometimes we forget about what we've been through, what we've done, what we've overcome, and, life goes on and time goes by, and, you start to suppress some sort of memories. And I think with doing this photo shoot every year, it reminds me of what I went through. And, I look at you and all the models that we've had in the past and how happy you guys are. And, when you see your photos and just seeing you in front of the camera and the joy and the happiness, it just makes me feel so fulfilled. So I want to thank you so much for allowing me to do that and allowing me to have this company that does that, and just being such an amazing team player for this community.
I think that it was amazing, and I love that you do this for people, and it gives them, like you said, something to look forward to and to see the photos and be like, damn, I am hot, and like, look at how powerful this is.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you go through everything, like you said, life goes on, but at the same time, the wound reopens when you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm still at that point where it's very numb still.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
but sometimes like people come in and they're like, Katie, I just got diagnosed, or I have a lump, I'm scared. And I feel that doom that we all
Yes.
feel, that top to bottom gut drop, that you're like, okay, we're going to buckle down and we're going to get through this together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when we met and we were just having so many conversations, like it was magical. And I am so grateful for the experience. And I can't wait to start working with other cancer patients and teaching them how to do makeup, because that's what I want to do with the prize money. I want to start a little foundation and start teaching chemo patients how to appear normal to themselves if they aren't feeling comfortable in their skin right now. So I am very excited. I have hired a photographer. I have my friend Randa, who's 27. She has non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. She just finished chemo, her 12th red devil. Like, it was like intense.
Wow.
And she has no eyebrows, no eyelashes. And I called her up. I said, hey, girlfriend, you want to come be my model? I want to kind of take a couple photos, show people what I'm trying to do. And she cried. So it's a really beautiful thing that I can give back in any way that I can. And I can't wait to see where life takes us.
I love this. I love that you chose to use your prize money to pay it forward. That's really beautiful.
I
Thank you
think
for that.
that more people need to do things and be there for their community. And I have giant dreams. I always have. I dream way too big, but I have
Never too
friends
big.
all over. That's right. Don't dull your shine, but I have friends
Mm-hmm.
all over, and I want to kind of teach them how to host a class and then try to get it like across the nation one day.
I love that. Thanks so much for joining me, Katie, and congratulations on being our 2025 Strength and Courage Bryght Model. I cannot wait to show the world all of your images.
I am so excited, and thank you again for having me.